Alright guys, the following presentation is hopefully going to help you remember some of the basic information based around some of the topics that we've covered in the theory part of the course. So if you are one of the students that struggled remembering some of just the basic recall in your mock exam, I'm hoping that the following slides are going to help you to at least have something to work from when you're faced with a question on a particular topic. So, they're going to be 3 words that we need to remember to help us with 3 of the topics, and I'm going to give you 3 sentences as well that will help you remember another 3 topics. Hoping that some of them you already recognise from your theory lessons already. So, the 3 words should enable you to remember the content based around influences, skill-related fitness and the principles of training, and then we've got the 3 sentences that we cover that will enable you to answer questions based around health-related fitness, methods of training and performance-enhancing drugs. So there are 6 influences. If you struggle to remember influences, the word you should remember is CRISP, C-H-R-I-S-P, or CRISP, so you can remember CRISP instead if you prefer. And again, each of the letters, this will be a running theme throughout the presentation, but each of the letters relates to one of the main influences. So you've got C for cultural, H for health and well-being, then you've got resources, image, socio-economic and people. So if you see the keyword influences crop up, remember CRISP. Then we've got the 6 skill-related fitness components. If you're someone that struggles to remember these, just relate it to the word B-craps. And as you can see, each of the letters again, if you go round, you've got B for balance, all the way round to S for speed. So if you see skill-related fitness, just remember the word B-craps, and that hopefully will enable you to remember the 6 skill-related fitness components. We've then got 5 health-related fitness components that you need to remember. Hopefully, again, when you see health-related fitness, the image that should crop up in your mind is Michael McIntyre. The reason for that, again, if we take the first letter from each of the components, MMCBF, Michael McIntyre can be funny. So I'm hoping that if you can draw the links from Michael McIntyre, it will give you those 5 letters, and then it will enable you to remember the 5 health-related fitness components. Then we've got the 3rd word, and this word will help you to remember 4 of the 5 principles of training. Sporrid. So if you see principles of training, remember sporrid. Sporrid should crop up in your brain. Try not to get it confused with methods of training, that will be the next slide. So principles, remember principles relate to sporrid. Sporrid standing for specificity, progressive overload, rest and recovery and individual differences. And then closely related to progressive overload as well, we've got the FIT principle, which stands for frequency, intensity, time and type. And then the 5th principle of training that we mustn't forget is the principle of reversibility. So sporrid, principles of training. Methods of training. This, although quite random, I'm hoping that the randomness of the image will help you to remember the methods of training. So don't forget, if you see methods of training, you must think, cows can't chew fudge whilst ice skating. And again, like with many of the other slides, the first letter of this of each of the words in the sentence will help you to remember the 6 methods of training, being that we've got 3 that start with C, then we've got the FWI, so we've got continuous, circuit, cross, fartlek, weight and interval. And then finally we've got performance enhancing drugs. So if you're someone that struggles to remember each of the drugs that we need to know for the GCSE course, try and remember this sentence: naughty police suspect Andy bought drugs. And as with all of the other topics, if you can remember that sentence, just take the first letter out of each of those words, and it will hopefully help you to remember the 6 different types of performance enhancing drugs that we need to know. So the N again relates to narcotic analgesics, and if you go down the list, then it should enable you to remember each of the 6 performance enhancing drugs. As I've said, no detail at all. However, hopefully, just remembering those three words and those three sentences I've gone through will at least give you a foundation to work from when answering any questions on those 6 topics.